Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode on Stockertim. Welcome to Stockertim, the investors channel. On this Stockertim special episode, we'll be discussing Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR. Palantir Technology is one of the most inspiring and perhaps the most important software company, AI, artificial intelligence company. We'll be releasing its result, its second quarter result, on the 4th of August, Monday, 4th of August, after market close, after the closing bell on Wall Street. Is this a blockbuster result that we should be expecting from Palantir? Is this yet another result that the company might not really beat estimates by something very substantial, or is this going to be a blowout earning, just like what the likes of not necessarily competitors, but the likes of Meta, the likes of Robinhood, and even Microsoft have reported. So the fact that Microsoft did very well in the cloud business might actually be a pointer to what the likes of Palantir is doing. But without further ado, let's get right in. Before we go, all information or every information shared on this channel is for education and information purpose only. Do your due diligence or consult your financial advisor before making any decision. Please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, put on a notification bell so that you don't miss any updates. Let's jump right in. So, Palantir really did very well last quarter, even because even when the stock actually sold off after the result, but between that time and now, the stock has really ramped up to the upside, and as a major investor in Palantir, part of my biggest portfolio is in Palantir. I usually don't necessarily pay so much attention to how the stock actually reacts immediately the earnings comes out. But if you haven't invested in Palantir, if you are investing in Palantir for the first time, let's just do a quick recap of what happened, what the company reported in the first quarter. So the first quarter revenue was around $884 million, and the growth number was quite significant, about 39% year-on-year growth for that first quarter 2025. Commercial revenue, which is what Palantir is really harping on, to show that Palantir is not, the company is not just a defense contractor. Commercial revenue did a whopping 71% year-on-year growth. U.S. commercial revenue, U.S. government revenue, which there was the fear that Palantir's business could be getting a drawdown, and the U.S. government might not necessarily do much more business, but that did better than expected, about 45% year on year. Adjusted earnings per share (EPS) was very good at 62%, at about 13 cents per share. And the rule of 40 for Palantir at that period, Q1, was around 83%, which is the highest in the entire ecosystem, software as a service ecosystem that Palantir actually plays. I've explained the rule of 40 in my previous video, the due diligence video that we did for Palantir. I will put the link to that video at the end of this video, so that you can actually learn more in case this is your first time of getting to know Palantir, or you haven't really done your due diligence into that stock. I will share that link to this. But what should we be expecting for this second quarter? So Palantir actually was a bit more ambitious, and they actually lifted guidance for the full year. For the second quarter, Palantir is expecting to report about 934 to 938 million dollars, which will be about 38% year-on-year growth, which is a bit under, just 1% under what the growth it did in Q1. So is Palantir able to actually beat this? I'm going to talk about a few pointers to actually give us an idea whether Palantir might actually even beat this. Is Palantir under promising to over deliver? It is yet to be seen. Second quarter adjusted operating income that is being proposed, or as the forecast, is about 401 million to 405 million, which is about 58 to 60% year on year. And Palantir actually believes that the US commercial revenue will, bring in about 1.17 billion dollars, which is the Guardians. So for that period, for the full year, Palantir is expecting to actually do about 3.889 to 3.90 billion dollars. So which is about 36% year on year growth. That's the full year. So if Palantir comes to this earnings report and they even lift guidance and they beat what they've actually proposed, which is about 38% revenue growth, about 934 to 938 million, that will be a watershed moment for the stock to actually consolidate on the gains that it has made. In the last 6 months or year to date, Palantir has done well over 100%. And as at today, why the market is still trading, today, the 31st of July, just for you to get the timestamp, Palantir has now even gotten to another all-time high at about $160. So yes, the stock has really ran to the upside, very very hot. The valuation is actually very very high. As a matter of fact, on Wall Street they say Palantir is now priced to perfection. But yes, the stock is not necessarily overvalued, but aggressively priced and aggressively valued, or richly valued. So I don't necessarily believe Palantir is overvalued, because if you look at where the company is coming from and where it is now standing, there's been a huge and phenomenal growth. I will also share a few things now before we go to the chart and we wrap it up. So the deals that Palantir has actually announced for the second quarter of this year might actually be a pointer to what we should be expecting. And before I go into that, if you have watched this video to this point, please give this video a like, because the more people actually see this video, the more it actually helps them. So like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed, so that you don't miss any updates. What I'm also going to do now is I'm going to be talking about a few deals that Palantir has actually announced, and that could actually give us an idea of what we should be expecting in the result. Will Palantir be beating the estimate, the guidance they gave us? It is yet to be seen. But in the very very towards the end of the second quarter, Palantir announced $100 million deal with the nuclear company. The nuclear company is actually a development contractor for nuclear energy. So basically, if you want to construct nuclear energy facilities, plants, this company will actually help you to do the end-to-end development, design, and actually the entire build up of that facility. And we actually know how nuclear energy is now getting a huge comeback, a huge attention, and a huge investment, because of the fact that AI actually needs a lot of compute and a lot of energy to power this compute. So nuclear energy company wants to actually run on the Palantir software, $100 million deal, which is quite impressive. Accenture and Palantir have also signed a deal, and Accenture will actually be training about 1,000 members on data and AI using the Palantir software to actually guide this implementation in the public sector. So it's an undisclosed deal. Fannie Mae, yes, actually gave Palantir a big deal. As a matter of fact, Fannie Mae said, some processes that actually last for about weeks or months to actually come to a position or a decision whether a claim is actually fraudulent or not. They were able to do it within 60 seconds using the Palantir software, which is quite impressive. NATO also expanded its partnership with Palantir. So Palantir has been struggling over the years to actually break into Europe, but this time around in the second quarter we got the definitive answer that NATO has actually expanded its partnership with Palantir, and the two organizations will actually be deploying the Maven Smart, which the US actually deployed. And Palantir was actually the prime contractor for that business. However, there are so many other deals that I haven't mentioned, but I'll go to the charts now so that we can actually see where this stock is coming from, what we should expect for the earnings, and what I actually think going forward. So join me. So here is the all-time chart of Palantir. The market is still trading as we speak, and you can see the stock has done a record 1,616,000%, which is quite impressive. Palantir has been said to be too high to the upside, is overvalued, is priced to perfection. If there is a drawdown in the revenue of the company, the stock could sell off aggressively. A whole lot has been said about this company, but it seems that the market actually sees something beyond the textbook or the business school idea of what valuation is. So just like if you have missed, if you actually use textbook analysis to judge or to value Netflix, to value Apple, to value Nvidia, to value Meta, Microsoft, or even Tesla, controversially, you would have missed this stock when they were actually undervalued, because the textbook case in the last 10-15 years for some of these stocks I've mentioned was not showing something that is investable. So Palantir actually is more or less moving or transiting from that era of doubt to maturity. So yes, Palantir as we speak is the most valuable defense company in the world. If you go to the valuation, just follow my screen, you can see it's about $375 billion valuation market cap. However, this company typically or basically does something that nobody is doing. Nobody is able to replicate what they are doing. The digital twin, the perfect digital twin of an enterprise, of the battlefield, of a factory floor, of anything that actually needs data, anything that needs decision making, real-time decision making. It is quite very, very hard to replicate what Palantir's ontology can actually do for anyone. So whether you are in the defense, the intelligence industry, or the business ecosystem, Palantir just has that hedge, and it allows companies or companies who have huge data sets to actually bring everything to one platform and actually build a digital twin without having to move between legacy systems. Palantir allows companies to do everything at the same time. So that is the story. Yeah. So at the beginning of this year, the stock sold off, after the first quarter result. You could see, stocks sold off. Even the Trump tariff contributed, and since then it has been a different story altogether. Over 108%. 1 year ago, Palantir is over 487%. So I actually foresee the scenario that, in my own opinion, it's my opinion anyway. I'm a major Palantir investor, so I see this stock perhaps reacting negatively immediately the result is announced. If the result is not it's not a blowout one, or if the result matches exactly what Wall Street estimates, there might actually be a pullback, maybe about 6, 7, 10, 15%, who knows. Actually, but if this stock or if this company reports a blowout result that is maybe 20, 15, 30% more than what is expected on Wall Street, this is going to rally to near 170 dollars per share. Should you be buying this stock? Is left to you. Do your due diligence. Is, like I said, Palantir is aggressively priced. It's a premium. It's a premium stock in the sense that over $157 per share. So, as you speak. So if you are down by 5%, you're actually down by a lot. And if you are up by 10-15%, you are up by a lot, depending on how many units you buy. So do your due diligence. And that's why what we do on the Stockertim Premium community is to actually do due diligence on this kind of companies before they actually get to where they are today, like 3, 4, 5 years down the line, when companies are still very much undervalued. We do a lot of research, we provide analytics, we provide data that you can actually use to compare your own homework. I will drop the link to anyone. I'll drop the link up. You can see the link, so that if you want to join the community, you can click the link and actually register to join. We will be expecting the result to break, and after the result breaks, a few days after or the following day, we're actually coming back to explain what happened, what was the significance of this result, as a company really owned up to what is actually projecting, and what is the next big deal for Palantir. So that is that for Palantir. We expect the results to actually be very, very phenomenal, and that will actually see this stock, maybe around 170-ish, but that's my opinion. You don't have to take that. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Till next time when we bring you another episode, keep investing, keep growing, take care, and bye bye.